So this is what the market review kind of looks like, and it's basically an overview of the entire market. We do it, here in the Midwest, we do it as a county basis,
Hmm.
because we only have, like in Colorado Springs, they have 1,400 units total active at any given time. So it kind of depends on how many units that you guys would have active in an area, but to get a pretty good representation of the market, that's kind of in that 1,000 to 2,000 unit range, is typically the best representation of an averages.
Oh, right there where it says number of closings, or no? Where are you looking at?
Sorry, so right, let me see, right here where it says,
Market totals.
yeah,
Oh,
market totals, and then that 1,361 is the total market active inventory in this in Colorado Springs, and then there's 1,539 actually pending right now. So in like um, in their market, this pending ratio right here is that 113% basically overall over the entire market. So this whole row right here is, we use the pending ratio to easily explain the entire market review here. So in Colorado Springs, 0 to $150,000 basically has 302% pending ratio, which just means that things are really flying off the shelf. They're under a month worth of inventory, and anything listed in this range is probably going to sell.
huh.
And probably mark it up, above market value, by probably 10%, because that inventory is so low. And so that's kind of a rough explanation of how we use these price ranges. And we just take sellers through, and say we have somebody in this $450,000 price range here. So if we have a seller in this price range, we would just explain to them, look, right now in the county, you have 76 homes that are active competition. Now, some of those are in, less desirable areas than your area. Some are in more desirable areas than your area. But our goal is to beat out these 76 people, and there's 60 current homes under contract. So this 60 number is obviously listings on top of the ones that are actively on the market. So that's how we come up with the pending ratio, is we take the number of active listings into the number of current pendings, and that gives us a good view of how the market is actually intaking those listings. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So then we would go over here and look at the month's worth of inventory. If you look at statistics, it tells us that 0 to 1 month's worth of inventory, like we have up here, you can price aggressively up to 10% above the market. But if you have 3 to 4 months of inventory, like we have here in the 600 to 699.99 price range, you want to price with the market. So you don't want to be high, otherwise you'll be sitting on the market in that range, because that's pretty balanced market. In Colorado Springs, basically everything that is under 600,000 is in a seller's market.
So what do you mean by months of inventory?
Yeah, so months worth of inventory is if all of the homes that are currently on the market, let's just look at this, in 450,000 to 499,999, if these 76 homes right here were to be the only homes that were on the market and no new listings came on the market, it would take 2.2 months to sell all of these active listings.
And how did you figure that out?
Yeah, so we looked at the homes sold per month based on the past history
Oh, got it.
right
Okay,
here.
cool. I see
Yep.
that now. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense
So
now.
yeah, we look at the homes sold per month, and then we just take that into how many homes are actively on the market. And if no new listings came up, that's what the month's worth of inventory shows, is that all of these would be gone in 2.2 months.
Wow.
So there's basically 35 homes that sell per month in this price range. And if I'm advising a seller, I'm advising them that we want to be one of those 35 that sell this first month, and not one of the 35 that sell next month, because that's going to
Got
be
it.
a lower net price for them at the end of the day.
Wow.
And then we really just kind of show them this is the median list price. Um, let's see, this is the median list price of sold homes, and then this is the median list price, median sold price, excuse me, of homes that have sold. So we don't look at median list price of active inventory. We look at median list price of sold inventory. So that somebody, as you know, a seller could want $500,000 for their house that's only worth 400, but they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
So we look at only what the market has proven. And then if we come over here, this particular category, homes are selling at 99.3% list price to sales price. So that's crazy. Really high for our area, at least. Here in Evansville, we're at 96, 97%. But they're taking 76 days to sell. So this is the median days on the market right here in this category. So it's not uncommon, even though they're getting, basically full price in this price range, it's taking them a couple months to sell. So, it makes an easier conversation with a seller, so that they don't expect that their house is going to sell in 10 days, although it could.
Yeah, very well could. Yeah, for sure. But you're using actual real data to say, hey, Mr. Seller, I know your ego is huge, but this is what the real market is actually doing. We're just not assuming like this is legit stuff.
Correct.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
because a seller can, and we've got, in the past year, we've been using this tool in our business more than anything else that we've used. And
Wow.
we use it to send out to expired listings for sale by owners, as touch points, along with our follow-up process, to establish us as the market experts. And this is the one thing that we talk to more than anything at the listing appointment. I want to talk about the market so that we can position them in this $450,000 to $499,000 price range strategically, rather than, well, I know my neighbor's house, right down the street, that is a little bit bigger than ours, and sold at the peak of our market, sold for $50,000 more than what you're telling me that my house is worth. And this kind of brings them into reality of today's market, and we'll show them. So we'll actually use these after after you start getting these, you'll have these past months and be able to articulate, well, yeah, look, Mr. Seller, your neighbor, they sold at the very top of the market. When they sold, the pending ratio was 120%, and the list price was up by 25,000, and the sales price was up by 20,000. So,
these numbers, they're not based on if it has 100,000 bedrooms or if it has one bedroom. It's solely based on homes and
correct.
based on location. Like,
Yeah.
the price based on location.
Correct. Yeah, it's just we look at all listings in, one bedroom, 0 bedrooms to 100 bedrooms. We don't take any of that out because we want an accurate representation of the market. And when you get into the market analysis, that's when you're going to be able to, tweak those bedrooms and things like that to position them in this price range. But this at least gives the sellers an overview of the price range that they're going to be fighting in whenever they sell their house.
Okay. So does that matter? Like, is that going to matter? Like, would that be a realistic? Have you encountered that objection? Like, hey, I want to get my house sold for $500,000. But you're telling me statistically I should price it between 400 and 450 based on my area and so on and so forth. But that room, was that house only having 2 bedrooms? Or, mine has 4, mine has granite, mine has this. Me, I'm better.
Yeah. So this is a tool.
That?
Yeah, this is a tool to use in addition with the market analysis. So
cool.
Your market analysis is going to show those intricacies of the market with the granite and number of bedrooms and, how those compare. And, you obviously doing your adjustments for this one having 3 bedrooms versus that one having 4, and this one having a pool versus that one not. Those things, that's going to be more on the market analysis side, so that you can show them. And what I, what I explain to sellers is, with this whole screen, I just tell them, hey, I'm going to kind of give you a 30,000 foot view of what's going on in the market. And then we're going to take a dive down into a 10,000 foot view and then into your neighborhood and your house specifically. So that's it. This is just kind of giving them an overview so they know and can easily understand what's going on in the market.
That's perfect, dude. Holy crap. Excuse my language, but this so this is just another layer of market knowledge on top of your CMAs when you present to your seller. So like, the 3 bedroom, the 2 bath or whatever, we might price it at $1 million. Okay, well now let's scroll down to the $1 million, and just so you know, the homes between $1 million and 1.1 are taking this long to sell. So I just want to let you know. So that's crazy, dude. Is that kind of like what I'm understanding here? Am I picking it up correctly?
Yeah, exactly. So if we even scroll down to the $1 million mark, if they've got a friend that says, well, they have a friend that has their house, that's had their house on the market for 3 months and it's not selling, you ask them what price range it's in, they say $1 million. You scroll down here and say, well, that makes sense because it's taken these homes nearly 6 months to sell, and there's only 19% pending ratio, which means there's way more homes on the market. It's oversaturated for the market, for the demand that's there in that price range.
Wow.
Yeah, this is just another layer to establish you as the market expert.
Wow.
And not someone else.
Wow.
And this, whenever you present this to a seller, we've had sellers that, we charge a higher commission than almost anybody in our area. And we've had sellers that, we've walked out of the appointment and they said, well, we're interviewing other agents that said that they could do it for less. And I say, that's great. Well, did they show you actually what's going on in the market and explain to you why that's important to you? And they said, no. I said, great. Well, if you want to hire us, call me back. But if not, you can hire them and get a lower net price for you. So they called us back. We sold their house. They've called us after that and said, dude, I'm so glad that we paid you more and you got the job done. Because one scenario, they had their house on the market 3 or 4 times with a bunch of discount brokers and a bunch of other people who just didn't know the market.
Wow. So can you do this for each area, or do you specifically just, because I'm considered beach cities, so it covers a certain amount of areas within the beach cities. Is that kind of what you do, or what are you kind of envisioning with me?
Yeah, so we can really do whatever it is that you are wanting. We typically go by county or by city. So like I know you're out in California and you guys' markets are broken down a little bit differently than than in the Midwest. But basically, to give you an idea, the active listings that we look for here are right around the 100 mark. So if they're sorry, I can't get my mouse back. So if they're in this 75 to 100 to 200 listings range, that's going to be a really good basically inventory shot. But if these are 25 listings, 12 listings, 19, like this, obviously this is a portion of the market, but if there's more than a couple of these that are lower in inventory, it's just not going to look great. Just because it throws everything off. And whenever you get under about 50 listings, the statistics all get thrown off anyway because they're too shallow, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Cool. But yeah, so we can do it. What county are you in?
So I mean, we're in Los Angeles County.
Okay, right, and that's a giant county, isn't it?
Massive. But see, the thing is like, even though we're in Los Angeles County, where I represent, I feel like it's its own county, you could say. Beach cities, it's like Lawndale, Gardena, Redondo Beach, Torrance, Manhattan Beach, El Segundo, like Inglewood. Like, even though those are all in LA County, it's such a big pocket within LA County where if you were to give me this information for all of LA County, it would almost kind of like, I don't think it would.
I think LA County would be way too big to do
That's
one
what
of
I'm
these.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to like say. But if I can give you like the specific cities because when you're out here, you think of like the South Bay and beach cities. Those are the words that people use out here to
distinguish areas.
To distinguish areas. Yeah, they have the West LA, the different parts, but I'm saturated. My focus is on the beach cities and the South Bay area.
Yeah, so and that's really where your the connection in that market comes from. So whenever we get ready to, because we'll hop on your MLS to pull all these numbers from, because what we found the reason we started doing this is we were running statistics in our MLS, and we realized that the statistics page of the MLS was off. So, and we found that in Colorado Springs' MLS and Indianapolis' MLS. And it's, if you go and you search, and the weirdest thing is that if you search active listings or history of active listings in a month, and then you actually search the active listings, the statistics versus the real search, they're two different numbers. We were finding two different numbers in median sold price, median list price, days on the market.
Why is that?
Across the board. Well, partly because MLSs are there. They have a statistics page in them, but typically that statistics page is there because it's a secondary thing. MLSs are their first business is to store and hold data, if that makes sense. So secondarily they're a statistics company, but they're just not any good at it. Like when we called our MLS and told them that our statistics were wrong, they said, well, just don't use that page. Don't use those statistics. I'm like, shouldn't you tell every agent in our MLS that?
Yeah.
Because now there's a bunch of real estate agents running around with a bunch of different information. Wow. So But that's why we started coming out with this and why we started doing it. And we used it and it worked so well just to facilitate real estate conversations in this last year that I thought it would be a good idea to open it up to, people that I know like you that are out in LA that really need a distinguishing factor when you're talking to people at open houses, at listing appointments. You need something that distinguishes you, not just like the same person that came through the last time.
Wow. So is this like a side business that you're trying to start up?